If you are new here to this channel, my name is Robin and I love to do functional organization. I like to say that I bring the fun to functional. So let's get started and let me show you where we're going to start. Hey friends, I have about 1 hour to work kid-free because I'm here at a friend's house and I'm going to be starting on her kitchen. She's got some young kids, she's a busy mom, husband is a stay-at-home dad, so I am here to help her life be a little less stressful every day. Sometimes you don't really know exactly what you're going to be working with, and so we have to have a lot of options to kind of get going. I chose to start at Target because there's a lot of bins that I'm really familiar with, and everything from the RV to my house has had a variety of bins and baskets over the years, and I knew for her space this is where we're going to start. We're going to work on clearing off surfaces. So basically we've got a lot of stuff going on here in the kitchen, and I really want to take some time to just clear the surfaces. A lot of these drawers are not utilized in a way that I think will be the most functional for a busy family. So let's get going.
When sorting items, use my 1, 2, 3 method. 1 is for one area. 2 is for tunes. Play some music to keep you moving. 3 is for 3 piles to sort. Love it, keep. Like it, pause pile. Let it go, donate or purge pile. This kitchen is a big project that I'm applying my 1, 2, 3 method to. The 5-minute method is to make consistent progress over time in small areas like a drawer or bin.
Anything that is paper related, I'm just going to set in a pile. This is going to be my 5-minute method later because right now all we're doing is sorting. So we're picking one area, which is the kitchen. I'm going to put on some tunes here in a minute, and I'm just going to keep sorting and putting stuff in piles so that we can go back to those piles and sort through those piles efficiently.
The 5-minute method is to make consistent progress over time in small areas like a drawer, bin, or paper pile.
Now that I have got a clean surface to work with, we're going to start sorting everything else in the kitchen. So at this point, I just literally sorted stuff into piles over here on the left. And I have kid stuff, I have miscellaneous tools or similar, socks, papers, medical stuff, other kids' random stuff. And that's as like detailed as I'm getting right now. So now we're going to go through everything on the counter and work if we can clear a countertop, and then we'll continue on to the drawers. One thing that Kitty and her family need is stuff that they can just drop and go. So I'm going to actually put stuff in the dish tub and let it start soaking so that they can literally just toss it in the dishwasher as soon as they get home. Busy families on the go often need systems to start and stop stuff. So we're going to work on that system to just create it to make dishes a little less overwhelming. Having the dishes done can be a daily chore, and so part of this is just getting into the habit of getting that loaded whenever you can. In this case, we're going to work with Katie and her hubby on just getting the stuff in the tub so that you can actually use your sink, because nothing is more frustrating than needing to rinse something, to dump the pasta, do the thing, and you literally can't even get to your sink. So we have another dish tub now that they'll be able to put either, sharp objects in or silverware or kid stuff or whatever, and it's going to be less overwhelming to have everything in a tub that you can just move real quick than it is to just have everything overflowing in the sink. When we were full-time living in an RV, it was instrumental to have a system to be able to put everything away. And the reality is you're not going to be able to do everything all the time. So we need to be able to have a system that works with you and allows you to be the best version of yourself. And for me, the dishes at the end of the day was that system. I was able to figure out how to have enough of all the things that I needed so I could do dishes once. Now let's be real. I've got teenagers, I've got older kids now, and I need to be able to have something that is run several times a day. We live in a sticks and bricks home now, and now the plan is we run dishes a couple times a day, and we have a dishwasher, which works out great. so last night they had pasta for dinner, and we're gonna dump out this pasta water and we're gonna let it work for us because it's been sitting. So I'm gonna give this a rinse, and then I'm gonna let it soak itself, watch itself, so that while I'm working on other areas, this can be soaking in the sink, my friends. There we are. That is what I'm talking about. So all this stuff is washing and soaking so that we can do a quick flip on the dishes later, and this will be ready to rock and roll here in a short bit. This area, what I'm wanting to do is kind of switch some stuff around. So again, I'm going to clear off the counters, and I'm going to work to switch where their air fryer is over here and kind of start to switch some stuff around in the kitchen. Over here on this counter, they said they've had stuff here before, but it doesn't seem like they've had a really great flow of things. And so I'm kind of at the point where I want to give them really great stations or zones or areas to really wake up in the morning, grab their coffee with their coffee stuff here, and then they can work their way around the kitchen and cook or do whatever else they need to do. So that's what I'm kind of working for over here. All right, so now we've got the coffee maker moved over. Let's take a minute and talk real quick about what else goes with the coffee. Around the kitchen, we had several different things. So we've got a coffee grinder, we've got coffee beans. I'm not sure at this point exactly what they need accessible where. So this is a question I'm going to have to ask Katie and Chris, because I don't know if they do fresh, beans every morning, or if this is like kind of a once a week, or if they grind it all at once and then store it. I'm not really sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this here. I'm going to kind of keep this space tidy and just kind of like put that right there on the edge, and then start to create a kind of like a zone or a section for coffee stuff. I have these shelves at Target. I'm going to go ahead and grab those. And for now, I'm going to put it here on the counter. And once I get the cups and stuff moved out of the cabinets, then I'll kind of really be able to work through. And then when they get back from being out, then I'll be able to talk through with them, like, what's going to be the most functional for you.
My method. Lose it where you use it. Lose an item visually from sight where you use the item.
This shelf I found at Target. I'm going to leave the labels on until they give me a thumbs up that they're happy with it. What I'm thinking is potentially a little coffee station. They've got this grinder. Again, if they're using it daily, they're going to want it out on the counter, whether it's down here or up there. I'm kind of feeling like a little basket might work well. So let's grab in. Got a couple different ones to work with. I've got these and a smaller black one over here. So I'm not really sure right now what size is going to work. These are the wide weave baskets from Target. They're pretty inexpensive, and it does fit on the top shelf nicely. So if they want to pull this whole thing down and do that, that might work really well, because then you're not having to really work about, like, be concerned about everything. You just pull the whole basket down, do what you need to do, and tuck it back up. Now, they might want a longer basket, which is probably ideal. It just kind of depends on how much stuff they're tucking up there. Also, visually, this gives a visual calm. And so if they like the direction I'm going with this, we'll put a little label on here that says like coffee stuff or something like that. So these don't really fit on the shelf that way, but they do fit this way. So we'll kind of see what we come across. That's part of the reason I need the dishes done, is to see, like, how many cups and mugs are we talking about? What else needs to go in this area? Does Katie want to drink tea, and does she want to have that accessible? That's something that we want to consider when we're creating our spaces and really putting together what needs to go there. In fact, now I see a tea kettle. So I think these are all going to be friends. So basically, I like to say, like items go together, they are friends. Coffee has coffee beans, tea has all the tea accessories. So maybe what we do is maybe we do a tea basket also. It doesn't fit, so we will not do a tea basket, at least not that one. I don't think I'm gonna win. I don't think I'm gonna win. Yeah, not gonna win. All right, not a win. So we'll do like that, and then we'll set this next to it, and then they can grab it out when they need it to use it. They've also got additional coffee beans. This is what I would call the auxiliary unit. Now I'm going to show you some OXO containers that I really like. These ones here are some of my very favorite. They are the 1.7 quart, and they're pop top, which is fantastic. I do not buy these in a set. If they had a set of 3 or 4, I might, but typically they're sold individually because often sets have odds and end sizes that don't really work for a lot of stuff. These are really great because you could put them here on the shelf, and if you wanted to have all your coffee stuff here, then you could just literally pour the beans in there. They do have the next size up. I think I've got one over here. Oh no, they do have the next size up. It's a little bit taller. I don't think it would fit under here, but if I wanted to, I could kind of switch the shelves. But for now, for all the intents and purposes here, I'm going to just kind of work while the people are out. I'm going to tuck this under here, and when they get back, we'll chat with them and see if they like the direction that I'm going with this stuff. What do you think? Leave me a comment. Let me know. We're going to go back here to the corner to kind of finish sorting what's happening over here and see what we need to pull out and kind of like what needs to get shifted around so that we can get this countertop cleaned off. Now that I have this counter cleaned, I'm not sure if they're going to want the air fryer in the corner long term, or if they are going to like it over here on the side. I'm kind of leaning on the side because if they're doing stuff here, then it kind of is away from where the kids might be, and then it's also by the cooktop, so they can keep an eye on what they're cooking. So for now, I think I'm going to leave that there. They do have a knife block. I'm going to ask them about if they want that out or not. But for kids' safety, they have some young kids, and so I want to make sure we keep the knife block kind of away from little people's. I found some more coffee stuff, so I'm going to shift some stuff around here and see what I can make work, because we need a spot to put the coffee filters. And if that's the case, then we should probably shift some of these things around so that the coffee is all together. There is some espresso there. There we go. Coffee basket with the frother. Tea basket. Okay, so it looks to me like these might be sugar cubes specifically for the coffee. Maybe we'll do another basket on that one. And maybe she'll want to put them in a different container. I'll have to ask. Oh, these are sugar packets. Oh, okay. Excellent. Sometimes, like, these are in the bathroom section of Target. These are just like a stackable tray. They have a couple that can like stack like right on top of each other. I'll show you. So they are in the bathroom section at Target. You have to look in the kitchen and the bathroom, and then the tub and the organizing section to kind of find all the things. They should be like IKEA and have like an example, and then like have the whole section, you know. Anyway, so these could be stackable trays that could go in there. For now, I'm going to just toss them all in here, and if we need to change it later, we can change it. But that way, it's a little easier to grab everything out. and get to what you need. So they've got quite a bit of extra coffee, so I'll have to ask them what they want to do. They may decide to put it in like the pantry, but we'll see. I don't know what their final decision is going to be, but at least it'll get it all together for now, and they can go from there. All right, what I've actually done over here now is I've kind of shifted around. I found some little pods for their brewing machine here, and so that way the pods can kind of be separated again. I used one of those stacking baskets, and then that way it can be in there and they can pull it out quickly. They can get right to their things that they need, scoot the coffee over. So if we decide to, again, just pull these extra ones out, then we can find a different spot for them to go. But this way now they've kind of got like a nice little coffee station. So I think it's time to get the coffee mugs ready. Now I've got the coffee station pretty well set up. I'm going to go ahead and open the cabinets and start kind of shifting stuff around because we want stuff to kind of be friends who are go together. So basically, if we've got the coffee stuff here, we need to have coffee cups in the near vicinity because it's going to be a lot less step dancing around the kitchen while you're trying to just make your coffee and somebody else is making breakfast, or maybe you're solo piloting and you're just like doing your own thing. So let's go ahead and pull out. We're going to pull out these dishes. The other thing that I'm seeing is this is a lot of like stuff that you would use to put away leftovers. And I think that we can move this to a different location that might be a little bit more convenient long term. So we're going to go ahead and pull this stuff out, and I'm going to start shifting stuff around. These cabinets do move, and I do have some different shelf risers. So I'm not really sure right now exactly how many cups we're dealing with, but we're going to create a space for the cups to go right here, ideally cups and dishes on the left, and then we're going to pull some of this stuff down and create better storage solutions. Now, if Katie and Chris don't like this here on the counter, we could easily tuck it up in the basket up high, but we'll see what they have to say and what they're thinking. Something that is really important when you're doing a lot of cooking and baking is that not only you can reach this stuff, but it's accessible for anybody else who needs it. Katie and I are about the same height. Her husband's taller, so sometimes it's easy to reach it, but also if you have a toddler on your hip and you're trying to get something out, it can be tricky. So I'm going to probably put these in a lower location that's a little easier to grab while you've got kids afoot. And I think that'll help make the flow of their kitchen a little bit easier. This is a really great organizer, but I'm not sure where it's going to live yet, but it's not going to stay where it's at. But these are really handy. Okay, so I've got coffee cups over here. I'm going to start pulling them out and seeing how many we're working with, because that's also going to help me figure out if I need a shelf riser or if I actually want to move this shelf. I'm feeling like we might move the shelf because this one's pretty tall, and if we move this one down, I think it might be more usable. But let's see how many coffee cups we have first. There's a lot of stacking of cups going on. That doesn't make it as usable, and then on a subconscious level, it increases your frustration like from the moment you wake up. And I don't know about you, I don't need to be frustrated in the morning. So I would like to create a way for them to have easily usable storage in a way that's functional and stress-free, honestly. Nobody needs additional stress in their life. Whew. Okay, friends. We have this and then a little bit on the chair. I don't know if you can see that. So we've got all that stuff to work with here. I think I'm going to go ahead and move that shelf down because I think that is going to be vastly better. Oh, here they just got home. Here we go.
With Katie and her family home, the kiddos want to help. Minor distractions of kiddos stacking baskets, and we were back to work.
Hey friends, I want to introduce my friend Katie. We go way back, like way back.
Oh,
I can't
yeah.
even count how many years. Like
Yeah,
I was
I don't want
a
to do the math.
Girl Scout, and she's younger than me. Her brother's in my class, and I was her counselor at Girl Scout camp, like way back. So fun
Oh, yeah.
fact, my camp name was Peanut Butter, and if you wrote 3 letters, then I would tell you my real name, which is Robin. And I don't know, we were just kind of friends after that.
Yeah,
My
yeah.
brother is her age, and so we just kind of ran in the same circle. So
Yeah.
it is a joy to be in her kitchen. I am so excited to be here.
Yeah.
And you are here to help me pick out some cups. So grab that cup that you just showed
Yeah.
me was your favorite. And if this just doesn't say Katie in one thing, it says classy, sassy, and a bit smart assy. So welcome to our show today, because here we are putting stuff back together. She's working, your husband is home, and life is just busy. We are talking up multiple times. You're exhausted. He's exhausted. Life is just, you're just lifing. And so we are here to work through some of like this stuff to make life a little less difficult and crazy in the house, because I believe that the kitchen is the heartbeat of the home, and you're starting your day here, you're ending your day here. In my kids' case, they're eating their way through the day slowly in the snack cabinet here and helping themselves to whatever. And so I want to make it easy, not only for you, not only for him, but also for the future with the children who are very, very growing very quickly.
Yes.
And before you know it, they're going to be my kids' age, and my kids are in their
Yes.
age years now, which is like, I don't know how that happened. So
Yes, and they're 3 and 1.5, and they already want to be super independent.
Right.
But they're limited on what they physically can do.
Right.
So,
And, kids are like, I want to get my own goldfish. Okay, cool. So I was working with your younger one on the pop top containers the other day, and he was so excited. And I feel like there's a way to foster that independence and support, because eventually, like when I was teaching people to fly, we always want our students to solo, and we want them to do it safely, independently, and with confidence. And so that was always my goal with children too. And so I feel like if I can pass on a little bit of wisdom from the old maid, it's that you're wanting your kids to solo. You want them to be independent, and you want them to be doing it in a relatively safe manner. Now, if that means dumping the whole goldfish on the ground, then they're going to learn about gravity. They're going to learn about the fish, and you got to learn how to sweep. And you know what? They're learning more life skills. We just didn't really want to learn those life skills today when we really wanted a snack. So if we can figure out how to make it less chaotic for everybody involved, I think that's probably one of the things that I think would help, like the chaos, the daily chaos, because everybody's got chaos. So, all right, let's get going.
All right.
This is where we're at. We're shuffling some stuff around, but we're making progress about what's going to work. So this is the current progress of the cup cabinet. We're being really intentional about like, what are we using, how often, where are things located, who needs access to it, and also what is going to be most easiest for a busy parent in the morning or at the end of the day who's exhausted and just needs to throw stuff in a cabinet.
We are amidst the mess, and Katie is saying
Hi.
yes to the mess.
I am saying yes to the mess.
Katie, what are you doing over there?
I am transferring my cereals and my snacks into the same size bins rather than these different sized bins.
Yeah, so a lot of these bins, like these are sold individually. These were from Target. You can probably buy them lots of places at the OXXO, whatever size these are. I don't know how many quarts. The 3.7 quart. And we discovered in her pantry, we've got some good bones that we're working with over here. And on this, we call this a breakfast shelf. They'll fit 3 across. And she goes, let's go 2 deep. I'm like, yeah, it's a genius. There we go. So we've got 3 across, and we're going to go 2 deep. And so we're going to have 2 for snacks, 4 for cereal. And that's what she thinks is going to be the most cohesive for her unit. So she's going to continue working on that, and I'm going to keep working in the kitchen. So woohoo.
All of these things are used together, so we're gonna tuck them in here so that when she uses them, she can pull the whole thing out and then tuck it all right back in there on the top shelf, and then that will close perfectly. Whether you're decluttering, downsizing, or organizing, it all starts with the same thing. You've got to figure out where to start and then start to establish systems in those spaces to be functional. In Katie's kitchen, she not only needed to declutter, she also needed to set up systems for success. I wanted to create a flow in their kitchen that was going to be functional, whether it was in the morning getting coffee or after dinner putting leftovers away. We needed to create zones or sections or areas to make things more functional in this space. There's a system to get the dishes in the dishwasher or soaking until they can get there. The corner, it's tidy. And now, they can really enjoy their spaces. They don't have to tidy before they start cooking. They can just start cooking because everything has a home and everything is already tidy. It's more manageable because we put the systems in place for their success. Now, they can just enjoy their space and they can spend time doing what they love to do. In the mornings, there's no struggle wondering if you run out of coffee or where the supplies are. Everything's right where you're using it. If they're making a big breakfast on the weekend, they can pull down the waffle iron and the breakfast basket, and it's easy to tidy up and put them away. And when they have leftovers, everything is in one place, easy to find. Items used for prepping, baking, and cooking are all located in the island. Their pantry is pristine and can easily keep inventory and know exactly what they need and where it's going to be located.
Okay, we're done.
Hi.
How are you feeling?
Oh my gosh. I think it looks amazing. I'm also very exhausted. And my feet hurt.
Absolutely. Agreed. Great work. High five.
Love that island is clear.
The total project time was about 10 hours with distractions and lunch, worth every minute for a functional space. And now it's time for the cost breakdown. The dishes cabinet was about $62 plus tax. This included the water bottle holders, the baskets, and the shelf risers. The coffee area was $47 plus tax for shelves, baskets, and a tray. The tea cabinet was $8 plus tax for baskets. Corner decor was $18 plus tax for 2 plants. The cabinet left of the stove, we just added a turntable to so she can get all the things out easily. The total supplies for this area was $49 plus tax. The kitchen was about $244 and the pantry was roughly $353 for a grand total of $642.36, including taxes.
Good morning. I just wanted to give a kitchen update. It's been 1 week since Robin came and helped organize and declutter my kitchen. With that, we have been able to keep up with keeping the kitchen decluttered and organized and clean.
When I was working in Katie's kitchen, I used my 1-2-3 method. I picked one area. I started on the island, played some music to keep myself moving, and I sorted things into 3 piles. The love it pile, that's the stuff that I know she's going to want to keep. The like it pile, which is your pause pile. The pause pile that Katie had to go through were things that she needed to sort or decide if she needed to keep. There were some things like a mug or a cup or things that she wasn't sure and she didn't want to make a decision right at that moment. That's perfectly fine. Even I have a pause pile in my own projects. And it's important to give yourself time to really think through if it's something that you use, that you want, and that you need. So, put it on pause. Make a decision after you've had some time to think about it. You're making a lot of decisions, and sometimes you just need to hit the pause button, and that's completely fine. And lastly, the let it go, which is the donate or purge pile. Things like trash was easy to decide that she didn't need or wouldn't want, but other things I needed to put into piles for her to go through in her own time. Katie's homework was going through the piles that I set to the side. These small piles were easy to go through in roughly 5 minutes at a time. As Katie went through each pile, then she could decide where things needed to live or give them a home if she didn't have a space for them. My 5-minute method is to select one small area to complete in about 5 minutes. This method helps to make consistent progress over time. Now that the piles were sorted into manageable bits, she could go back to each pile and then figure out if it's stuff that she needed. For example, there was a pile of socks. I'm going to assume they probably fit somebody and they just don't belong in the kitchen. So that was an easy win. But things like medical supplies or other things might need to get sorted further. By being able to kind of group the items together at first, then she could quickly go back to each pile with my 5-minute method. My 5-minute method allowed Katie in just a few minutes to go through one basket or bin at a time. The goal is to create momentum by getting a win or getting that dopamine hit, getting that success feeling so that she's really feeling confident and building that muscle that she can do it. Things only take a few minutes, and by getting to the end of the whole bin, a basket, whatever she was working on, then she could feel successful and really reprogram her mental, emotional, and physical responses so that she can continue to make momentum a little bit at a time by going through one bin, one basket, or one small area.
In 1 week, we were able to use Robin's tips and tricks to declutter this space. This was where our pause pile was. I don't know if Robin took a picture or has it in a video. This entire area right here was covered in things from top to bottom, all the way from left to right, that needed to be sorted and found a home. We used her quick little methods, her 5-minute method to tackle one pile at a time, and her sort method to declutter this area in a matter of 1 week. Here I'm using Robin's lose it where you use it method. It is not completely out of sight, but that's okay because this is functional. Here at the dinner table, we use wipes regularly with our 2 young boys. And then in this white organizer, I have my vitamins that I take at dinner time. Here at the coffee station, Robin originally organized it to where there was nothing on the counter in front, which looks amazing. I don't mind that I've put a few things here in front on the counter because it's functional for me. Over here I have my vitamins in my bamboo sorter and then my crucial medicines that I need to take daily. This is where I come in the morning right by coffee to get my coffee, get ready for work. I remember now to take my vitamins and my daily medicine. This little purple caddy helps me to remember to get my vitamins that I need to take at lunch, and my blue cup sits on the counter because this is the cup that I fill with ice and water and take to work with me every day. The kitchen sink is an area that we historically struggle with. It's usually piled full of dirty dishes and it becomes very overwhelming, so then they sit there for longer because we don't even know where to start. Robin gave us the suggestion to put a dish tub filled with soapy water that every day we can just drop the dishes in, let them soak, and then at the end of the day, they're easy to just put in the dishwasher and go. At first, I was opposed to this. It went against everything that I'm familiar with, but I agreed to give it a try because I recognize that sometimes change is good for us, but change is difficult. So I agreed to give it a month. She told me to give it a day and then give it a week. I've given it a week and it's working fabulous. Every morning after I get ready for work, I put dishwater in the tub and I have asked my husband just to drop the dishes in there. This makes his life easier as he has 2 young toddlers that he is caring for all day, so that he can just drop the dishes and go. Then when I come home at the end of the day after we've had dinner, it's easy for me to come over, drop the dishes in the dishwasher, and we're done.
Thanks for watching. If you're interested in a free 15-minute consult, check out my website, beachybrainstormer.com, for details. I also offer virtual consulting services, which is a great way to get started on your project, as well as support you in your journey towards completing it.